out of those top 5 are those 5 trainers with the world qualifications, only an Ilqm and an Adequins don't have that travel package.
That's right.
So a lot to play for as we're already getting into game number 1. It's a Toxapex lead. It's so safe in this matchup because Ilqm is running Water Gun Lantern, but Medichamp's not terrible. Medicham can win the 0 Protect Shield situation.
Yeah, it's really interesting because on one hand, you've got the resisted counters. You can see how slow those are adding up. It almost looks like 1 HP per counter, but you also have the Psychic as well, which is going to hit for super effective damage with the chance for the defense drop as well. And Derp actually respecting that Psychic right away and bringing up the first Protect Shield.
This is rare from Toxapex. Toxapex is so bulky, so the instantly Protect Shield Toxapex is a choice here from Derp, and a Protect Shield in return from Ilqm.
Yeah, things that we don't expect every day is going to be Medicham and Toxapex using Protect Shields on the very first charged attack. Known for their bulk, not necessarily known for Protect Shielding right away. That said, here comes the second Psychic from Medicham ready to go. This time it is going to go unshielded. Let's see how much damage this does. Boom! Into the Toxapex.
You know, the key difference is I believe Toxapex wins the 1 Protect Shield matchup. So I think Derp knows that, so is trying to win this alignment. When you're not running off meta picks, you kind of need that alignment. So it looks like Ilqm also wants that alignment. Double Protect Shield for Medicham.
Well, I think the alignment is going to be key here because you can see at home what we have in the back. We have a Noctowl on the side of Ilqm. We have Derp with the Trevenant as well. That is a very one-sided matchup, so Derp very clearly wants to make sure that he has his Trevenant not aligned versus the Noctowl, but not opting to use that second Protect Shield. We are going to eventually see Ilum's Noctowl get lined up where it likes.
But what about the Galarian Stunfisk up a Protect Shield? It's going to be able to land that Earthquake on the opposing Galarian Stunfisk, and will it have enough as we get the Shadow Claw down into the Medicham? Noctowl, instant switch, instant pivot, and you can't swap yet. No, you actually did just swap, and now you have no Protect Shields for this Earthquake. I think Ilqm doesn't love this situation.
All right, well, here we see the first Earthquake coming out. Like you said, no Protect Shields at this point, so this is going to do a lot of super effective damage. Comes through, but not quite enough to knock out the Galarian Stunfisk. The question is, do you go for the bait, or do you immediately go for the Earthquake? It looks like Ilqm is going for the Rock Slide this time. It will take this final Protect Shield. It's going to be a race to this next Earthquake here, Butters.
It could be our favorite game. Is Rock Slide enough? This is going to be the Rock Slide. Is Rock Slide going to be enough, Olsum? I think it's going to be so close.
Will this Galarian Stunfisk hang on with 1 HP? It looks like it has a sliver. Does it have the Earthquake? Yes, it does! What a huge play from Ilqm. Hangs on, gets the Earthquake. Will this be enough to take out the Galarian Stunfisk? If it does not, it's going to leave it with just a little bit of HP. Now comes the Noctowl. Can it farm down?
Wing attack down.
There it is, takes it all the way down. I think may have been able to throw a Rock Slide, but nonetheless, the writing is on the wall. The Noctowl has the move, ready to go. Alignment was everything here. Able to get the Sky Attack and knock out the Trevenant. Game number 1 going to Ilqm.
What a game, and that's why Is Rock Slide enough is our favorite game, because you never really know.
It never seems to be enough. That was so close. I think that was actually 1 HP there, Butters. Speaking of game 2, Butters, let's move us into game number 2 right now.
And once again, Toxapex lead, right? Because
okay.
It's just so safe, and it looks like Derp is going to try to get alignment, and looks like an instant swap into Medicham. You mentioned it might be the second best answer, but actually switch locking it into this Toxapex. There is a Noctowl available in the back for Derp.
All right, well, everything on Ilum's team has some play versus this Toxapex, so it might be a team effort in order to find a way to take down this very bulky water poison Pokemon. This time, no shield on the Psychic, lets the first one go, but has the Sludge Wave loaded, ready to roll. Derp does have the Noctowl this time, whereas Ilqm is the one that has the Trevenant. May have been trying to bait out the Noctowl with his own Medicham, but okay, and here it comes actually. This is big for Ilqm because it does free up this Trevenant later on in the back matchup.
Yeah, I love this pivot, even though it was clearly trying to bait out the Noctowl, right? This is an ABB to bait out the Noctowl. But because of all the Poison Jab damage, now this Medicham is just in range of Sky Attacks. You're going to be able to throw the Sky Attack, but because you took the Ice Punch, now you're just in range of a Charge Attack as well. So you're going to knock out here. You expect the Noctowl is going to be coming back in, and it just needs to get to probably 1 Sky Attack plus a Wing Attack down.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of chip damage versus Ilum's Noctowl here, which is going to be quite nice. The main goal that you have is to put this into single Rock Slide range. So I think all you need maybe is 1 more Sky Attack. Even these Wing Attacks are adding up as well. Okay, but unable to get to the next move. Ilqm wants to remove this Noctowl from the field, preserve as much HP on his own Noctowl as possible. We're likely going to be seeing this Galarian Stunfisk come in. Yes, and there it is.
Instant pivot, but still switch locked, Wholesome.
Okay, so yeah, you have to stay in this matchup. Probably just goes for this rock slide right away as you wait for the switch clock to come back. But if you bring in the Toxapex at this point, you're coming into a Trevenant that is close to a Shadow Ball already, Butters. I'm very curious to see how this game is going to play out. There might be some bait games involved.
I think you want to go for the Poison Jab neutral damage because your Mudshot is not taking you anywhere at this point. And here comes the Shadow Ball. This is the biggest call of the game for Derp. Does he think it's a Seed Bomb? He thinks it's a Seed Bomb, but it goes through and knocks out the Toxapex.
Still 2 Protect Shields. All right, well, are you in Rock Slide range is the question now for this Trevenant. I think the HP is dwindling down. Like you mentioned, those neutral Poison Jabs did a good job of chipping away this Trevenant, putting it in a safer range for this Galarian Stunfisk to potentially win the game. Now, that said, you need to land a Rock Slide on the Trevenant. The Noctowl for Ilqm is not in single Rock Slide range yet either, and you need to break the shield. That's 4 Rock Slides that this Galarian Stunfisk needs to get to win the game.
How about the brilliance from Ilqm to throw the Shadow Ball at a very low health Toxapex that might have survived the Seed Bomb, and now he's going to do it once again. Does Derp try to call the bait? He calls the Shadow Ball and protects shields.
All right, well, we need to, as Ilqm, you need to make sure that you get as much damage with this Trevenant in as you can. Was not going to be able to get to another charge move. This Rock Slide is going to knock out at this point. It's going to be a battle. Noctowl versus the Galarian Stunfisk. Noctowl does have some energy. Again, we need 2 Rock Slides, but this is going to be so close.
This is round number 2 of our favorite game. Will Rock Slide be enough? Wholesome, it's going to be so close. It's going to be so close so it can endure, but can it endure the Mud Shots as well? It endures. I think it's going to be able to survive the Mud Shots as well because it's literally doing 1 damage.
All right, well, we're going to be seeing actually the Sky Attack. This is resisted damage, but you need to get to 2 charge moves as Ilqm. Going to launch the Sky Attack right now. Do you go for the Shadow Ball, or do you? No, he doesn't able to get there. The Rock Slide comes through. Oh my gosh, Butters, what a tense game number 2. This one was as close as game 1. This time, the Galarian Stunfisk for Derp able to take the victory and even up the series 1-1.
Could the Sky Attack been enough? That would have been really close in that situation. We saw how much the first Sky Attack did. It could have been a situation where Galarian Stunfisk would survive with 1 health. Once again, I think that's what it was leading up to. So I think that's why Ilqm was reaching for the Shadow Ball. But if you know if he's going hard for alignment and there's knockdown in the back, it's so risky to bring that Trevenant.
Without a doubt. And we know that Ilqm is going to be focused on alignment. We'll have to see how this game 3 plays out. Let's take a look at these teams. Guys, this is it. This is the winner's bracket. You want to move on here. You don't want to drop to the loser's bracket. We're going to see a repeat of game number 1 alignment, the Medicham into the Toxapex, and yet again, Butters, we see the Noctowl on the side of Ilqm, and we see the Trevenant on the side of Derp. This could be huge. Who wins alignment here?
Or are we going to see the double Protect Shield from Derp this time? It's possible that Toxapex could win the double Protect Shield situation. Here comes the first Psychic, and it is Protect Shielded. Do you ever start to go for some Brines because you know the Protect Shields are coming from Ilqm?
Well,
there it is.
Yeah, here comes the Brine. This is the bait. We saw in game 1 this gets shielded as the Sludge Wave last time and shields the Brine. Okay, some mental games from Derp. That's going to put him a little bit farther ahead than what we saw in game number 1. Is Ilqm still going to be able to retain Switch? Here comes the next charge move, and look at just this fast move pressure that is added up already just from the Poison Jabs. Here comes the Sludge Wave, Butters. It gets shielded as well.
You know, Ilqm has been so confident this whole time, but I saw a little grimace in his face when he Protect Shielded the Grime. He might know that flips this matchup into 2 Protect Shield, as the Psychic is going to get properly Protect Shielded. Now this Toxapex is poised to get to this Sludge Wave at similar time, or do you go for the Brine knockout? It's going to be so close. I don't think the Psychic is enough. Looks like charged attack priority.
All right, well, Medicham's going to win this one. Toxapex having a lower attack stat there, but the Psychic, I don't know, is enough to knock out. Leaves it very, very low. The question I have is, does the Brine knock out? I maybe would have liked to have seen a little bit of a safer play with that Sludge Wave, but this Brine is coming through now. I don't think you're going to be able to counter down. It does hang on with 1 HP, and the subsequent Poison Jab is going to knock out. Alignment is everything here, Butters. What this means is we're going to now have a Noctowl lined up versus your own Noctowl. I like this Water Gun down. It does translate to some good energy, but the Trevenant is waiting for it.
And this all comes down to, as the Trevenant and the Noctowl comes in, the Noctowl got a lot of wing attacks, but Derp decided to throw the Seed Bomb. He needs some sort of advantage on his Noctowl because he's going to be down energy as soon as he swaps into this matchup.
That's right. If you come in behind on energy, you end up losing that matchup just slightly because there's been no Shadow Claw damage that added up whatsoever. You needed some chip damage in the form of a Seed Bomb, so not a bad play there by Derp whatsoever. Now comes in with some of an HP advantage that should translate to a victory. He needs to eventually realign that Trevenant versus the Lantern, but his Trevenant's still plenty healthy. We're going to see Derp now get into this first Sky attack, has 2 loaded almost. Is 2 going to be enough to knock out the Noctowl, Butters?
It's going to be so close. They're so close in health right now, and that's 1 Sky attack into Ilqm's. So here comes another Sky attack into Derp's Noctowl, and which Noctowl will be getting to that Sky attack first, because the next Sky attack will knock out, and it's going to be Derp's Noctowl securing the victory against the opposing Noctowl of Ilqm, and that is crucial because now it's going to be Trevenant versus Lantern. Lantern does get an energy advantage here with this water gun down, but this energy is going to go nowhere.
All of the moves are resisted from Lantern on to Trevenant. Yes, you do have the water gun, which does slowly add up. I don't know what the play is here. Maybe is it Surf Thunderbolt? What's going to be your way to provide as much damage as possible?
Surf.
Yeah, double surf maybe.
It could be enough.
I don't know that a Seed Bomb is enough to knock out the Lantern at this point. I think you get the surf here. Maybe a second surf could do it. Do you go for the Thunderbolt? He does! All right, I think this might be enough damage. We saw the surf do almost half of the remaining HP. Here comes the Thunderbolt. Butters, we don't see this often.
Out of nowhere, Ilqm's Lantern takes out the Trevenant to take the series 2-1.
All right, we talked about alignment and how important it was. Apparently it wasn't as important as we thought. Ilqm not getting the proper alignment, but getting the energy advantage and taking the 2-1 victory with his Lantern knocking out his opponent's Trevenant. We do not see that every day.